तुझसे लिपटता होगा, कैसे महबूब मेरा तुझसे लिपटता होगा, फिर भला कैसे कोई चांद को तकता होगा, जुल्फे सरकार से चेहरा निकलता होगा,
कुछ मैम ने भी पता मुझे
होते से जुदाई का सफर हमने वो तेरा से जुदाई का सफर, शाम को सवेरे होते हुए ढलता होगा, शाम को सवेरे होते हुए ढलता होगा, जुल्फे सरकार से जब चेहरा होगा, फिर भला कैसे कोई चांद को तकता होगा।
Jazakallah. At this time, we are also on YouTube too, and National Textile University Zoom meeting is on YouTube too. If someone wants to join there, he can join there too. Now, I hand over the mic to Madam Muhammad to conduct the program. Madam Muhammad, please.
Assalamu alaikum and good late morning. I am Muhammad, lecturer at School of Art and Design, National Textile University. I am your today's host for this webinar. The topic of this webinar is fashion retail business pandemic era. As the pandemic spreads and its impact grows, businesses have shifted their priorities. The virus has gripped almost every industry. Amongst them, the fashion retail sector is suffering the most because it is of least priority to customers at present. The blow from the pandemic on the fashion and retail industry appears to be spreading across the globe. Consumer sentiments and behavior patterns are changing rapidly, and it is difficult to predict standard consumer behavior at this point. However, the retail landscape is likely to change a lot in the post-COVID-19 era. I would like to invite our guest speaker, Ms. Reena Wate from Polytechnic Nigeria Media Creative to express her views on today's topic. Ms. Reena Wate.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for inviting me on this conference. It's a great honor to be here with such a esteemed college from School of Arts and Design, National Textile University, Faisalabad, Pakistan. Let me introduce myself a little. I'm a designer, graduated from Institute Technology of Bandung, and then worked in Indonesia fashion and fashion retail and fashion design from 2011 until now. Now I work and live in Depok and Jakarta City of Indonesia. And now I'm happy to present my institution, Polytechnic Negeri Media Creative, to talk about fashion retail. So let me share the screen. Can you please open the share screen for me? Mr. Yasin, or maybe the host.
Yeah, just a minute, please.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And now you can please share. And I
Okay.
request the others,
Okay.
please. I request the attendees, please mute yourself.
Okay. Can you see my screen clearly?
यासीन,
Sir,
आपके पास राइट्स हैं, आप खुद सबको म्यूट कर दें प्लीज।
okay, sir. Okay, sir. मैं करता हूँ sir.
Okay. Maybe I can start now.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay, I was asked to speak about my research and design of fashion on pandemic era, focus on fashion retailing. So it is to critically question where we are now in pandemic and to make proposition. This is my trace and study about fashion retail, also merchandising, some of which are familiar, but only as a means to reveal my own ontology of thinking. I'll end it with a proposal on how we are will further influence through our research and practices. So, offering a unique and highly emotional physical product made the fashion industry feel safe. To think about fashion as a software and a collection of data obviously doesn't fit with the creative work of fashion designer. The ability to freely access and copy data combined with the access to modern production methods for all of us will substitute culture for code. So technology will lead to an unprecedented form of individualization with high speed. Modern hardware and software will not only empower user to create what they have in mind, but also to produce it right away. Maybe we can call it fast fashion. So in that case, copyright has been reached out entirely, and the time of mass product, a legitimate child of industrial revolution might be over, somehow leapfrogging backward to made to order. Well, that is not a bad choice facing today's negative impact of the fashion industry to the labor market and our environment. Mm, We saw the fashion company as a living system, working autonomously to the central ecological ethic. From my perspective, I think we can all agree that
Madam, just a minute. Ma'am, just a minute. Please wait just a minute only. Just a minute, please. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please. Yes, please.
Oh, it's been on to mute, yeah. Unmute.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. From where should I restart or backward or just continue, sir?
Yes, you may start
Just
from here. Fast fashion.
okay. Okay. So we still saw the fashion company as a living system, working autonomously to the central ecological ethic. From my perspective, I think we can all agree that sustainability is now fully appropriated and subjugated by the dominant logic and values to the consumer culture and by business models that are usually dependent on unrestricted economic growth. And we are evidently powerless to free ourselves or our businesses from its hard-nosed grip. Um, But we are not finished yet solving pandemic. Despite its typical purpose, fashion extend its functionally to health and fitness and as well to communication and security. Further repairing gets important. Last but not least, we well-rehearsed rhythm of the fashion world is losing its beats. There is a new player on stage, and also phenomenon of prosumers that change business models globally. The COVID-19 pandemic was regressive. This is data from Indonesia. The COVID-19 pandemic was regressive, hitting low-income households the hardest, and may increase inequality further, even as economic recover. With Asia transforming into global fashion leader and amidst proliferation of independent brands, young fashion designer urgently need to remain competitive in a crowded market. Digital fashion brands presented a good opportunity for fashion professionals to equip themselves with skills crucial to business growth in digital world. The second half of Asia Fashion Future look at that the sustainability and ethics within the fashion trade as the world grapples with an ever increasing need for ecological protection. Fashion business can meet global challenges and lead the way in developing long-term sustainable practices, and the COVID-19 pandemic has changed a lot about our lives, from how we shop to how we work and how we work out. It's also changed how we dress because many of us spend so much uh, of the last year quarantine at home, gone wear the days of business casual wear for the office and dressy outfit for nights out. Instead, we turn to comfier around the house alternatives, from cozy loungewear to laid-back sneakers. Pandemic fashion wouldn't be complete without face masks, which have become the ultimate, essentially accessories of the past year. On the other hand, we should not forget that we're lacking many occasions which people dress up. So weddings has been canceled and postponed, and concert has been canceled. A lot of culture and people gathering had to be canceled due to the pandemic. All of that has an impact on how we dress, what we shop for, and how we shop for it. Well, the first good news on this pandemics in this industry is its passion. So if you really understand the trends, if you make the product relevant from just a product point of view, you can still play. So it's arts and science, and the art part will always be strong in this industry. Maybe it is difficult, and if you miss the trend on digital, if you are undercapitalized and lack now for the budget to invest in the future, and you have to deal with a lot of legacy of what we used to be in retail dominated, of course, there are a lot of challenges. So we will see the massive consolidation. Retailing in fashion also mean that this consolidation will give some room to breathe and will provide some market share opportunities for those that get through this. And will likely be embarking from this crisis in a stronger fashion. We already see that the need of fair self-expression doesn't go away uh, because we have just been through a pandemic. So the industry are in anticipate, and you'll see in the report that nearly 90% of industry executive feel that the working model of the future will be hybrid. People are typically going to be working from home 2 or 3 days and the rest in the office. We might see fluctuating behavior, which is really sort of dressing up and looking your best on the days that you are out, and being much more casual and cocoon when you are in home. But what we are also likely to see is that the new variant of glamour will also come with a degree of comfort. So people have realized that clothing that's comfortable and falls well, feels good, and well made have become much more important on pandemic era. That probably is something that will continue in this pandemic. So in last year report, sustainability will be the big topic on 2020. But despite the fact that obviously the coronavirus was the big topic, sustainability will stay hugely relevant. So the question of fashion for fashion retail is how is COVID-19 impacting that? We're still figuring out until now. Well, market research makes us believe that people have become more conscious of what they are buying. Customer had time to think about his or her fashion more, and also had time to think into their wardrobes. Customers nowadays realize that they need to far less fashion if they don't have any occasion to wear it. Also, we see the phenomena luxury brand partnering up with what essentially are resale sites, big brands buying streetwear brands, and what is going on in fashion is the day of reckoning for fashion. It's probably broader than just about sustainability. Fashion industry need to work hard and to reimagine its products that future-proof continuously. So in this pandemic, also produce fashion pre-owned, whether it's resale, whether it's casualization. These are trends that are here to stay on the rest of in the future for the customer of tomorrow. So what we do immediately for the luxury brand that's going to remain relevant in the next decade, yeah, then some of these opportunity present tailwinds that you should be accelerating toward as well. And if you are a designer, because you have a lot of digital innovation to be able to access a global consumer, you've got an access to crowdfunding and sorts of capital, all of which we believe are easier today. They may have been historically. If you are a scaling up brand, you probably start to see that consolidation. And if you look at the beauty industry as an analog, a lot of disruptive startups were really able to gain momentum. But ultimately, actually, we have found themselves and their homes to be within a larger business to really help them with what it takes to scale up the business in a global way. So the opportunities for designer and what that looks like may vary by the cycle and on the startup phase versus the scale up phase. Like Stuart Brand says, it's not scale that changes things, it's idea. To develop tools, create access, bring people together to tinker, and bring things to life. And then you start working with the life. And someone has to be in charge in this pandemic. So how might we wield more influence through our works to speed these new fashion societies into being? How can we possibly pull ourselves free from the dominant consumer culture and its no script on the real who on earth is going to be in charge? So the answer is us, fashion enthusiasts. All of us in fashion should make a commitment to work harder on this pandemic era. Okay, thank you. That's all, Mr. Yasin.
Thank you, Miss. Miss Mom, please unmute yourself and you may continue your.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rina, for your enlightening reviews on fashion retail business in global pandemic. Our rector has suddenly an important meeting, so he couldn't join us today. Now I would call the chairperson, Dr. Zafar Javed, our worthy Dean of School of Arts and Design, National Textile University. Please conclude our seminar by sharing your views of today's topic.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I think, first of all, let me say a sincere thanks to our resource person today, Ms. Trina. And specifically, the topic she brought up, that's quite interesting. And it's we've been living in this pandemic era for the last almost 2 years now, and we never thought from the perspective of fashion. And specifically, it was very interesting when she put up that slide, working from home fashion. We all been doing this. We all been attending meeting, having a necktie on an ordinary shirt and wearing a short underneath. So, but we never thought that this is an area where we can focus to design, or let our students or the professional to look at this perspective of fashion. Thank you for giving this cue to us. That could be, and for sure, now even inshallah, this pandemic is going to go away. But this remote talking and this video conferencing, it will be on rise now for the next generation onward, and very soon I think it's going to become a norm, specifically in this teaching and the corporate handling as well. It's because of this blessing in disguise of pandemic that we all are now talking to each other, sitting like thousands of kilometers apart. We would have never thought about it before, and it was like, for us it was like a no-go area, arranging a conference or a webinar while sitting far away, and this has become a norm now. So I'm really thankful for having this very concise, precise, and targeted lecture. I'm sure everybody would have enjoyed this, and I personally really enjoyed it very much, specifically the way you presented and the data and the indications. I hope, and I would recommend to my faculty member to work together with you guys, and specifically in this area. I'm thankful to the team, thankful to our head of academic outreach, Dr. Yasin, and all those Maham, their team members, all those who made it possible to arrange this webinar. Thank you very much, Reena, for this, and we are very hopeful to extend this cooperation more, and will be joining and to put up more such kind of activities. Thank you very much all, and thank you very much all those students and faculty members who joined. Wish you all a very, very happy weekend. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your factual reviews with us. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Ms. Reena Wate, our international and national attendees, for sparing your precious time to honor us. In the end, thank you for our to organize Dr. Yasin for organizing such an efficient and informative seminar. I pray, O Allah, keep us safe and sound from this pandemic. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Dear audience, if anyone has any question from Ms. Reena, please, he or she can unmute him or herself to ask any question from Ms. Reena. Anyone, please. If anyone has any question, please. I think Ms. Rina explained everything very clearly, and all the audience is listen it carefully, and everything is clear. Thank you, Ms. Rina,
My
for
honor,
this.
sir. Yeah, maybe next meeting we will be more. We can share a lot of topics, and we can join with in the research. We appreciate your invitation, and maybe we can work together in the next future in other topics for fashion, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and thanks of all. May Allah bless you all. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.